All right, welcome back to a third video for today, folks. This is a special request requested by Rusty on Discord. So this one's being made because of what he asked for. He's got a couple of people he's introduced to Grayscale and just wanted some, insights, ideas on what brokerage to use and, kind of what comes along with some of them. I just have a couple that I've used and really two main ones for my Grayscale holdings. I'll talk about that. So the primary three, I guess, that I would recommend going into, because kind of full-fledged brokers, I don't want to minimize other ones, but I consider these to be kind of full-fledged, would be Fidelity, Schwab, and E-Trade. There are other brokers that you can get these things through, like Robinhood and M1, but they don't have the same features. They're not, I kind of like the legacy brokers, and that's what I think E-Trade, Schwab, and Fidelity are. So just because of the features they have. If I were to select one, just jumping right into it, I'd probably say go with Fidelity for a couple of reasons. One, when you transfer money into Fidelity, they let you use some of what you deposited right away to buy Grayscale or whatever it is that you want. And then I think, if memory serves me correctly, I feel like the rest of my deposit was available the next day. Versus Schwab, it's like when I transfer money into Schwab, man, it's like you gotta wait a couple days, which is irritating, because I came from TD Ameritrade. That's the broker that I was using. Primarily I had TD Ameritrade and Fidelity, and then I really only opened a Schwab account because I found out that TD Ameritrade was transitioning to Schwab. In TD Ameritrade, from what I remember, it's been a while since I deposited money in TD Ameritrade, but I swear it's like, I feel like I was able to buy equities and stuff right away, same day when my money was deposited with TD Ameritrade. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the way it was. It's too bad that Schwab operates differently. Like, they should have, I think, taken the TD Ameritrade way of doing things and incorporated that, which is great. The other thing with Fidelity is you don't get charged fees for buying the Grayscale Trust. So the Grayscale Trusts are OTC, or over-the-counter pink sheet trust, essentially. And what a lot of brokers do is they'll charge you a fee to actually buy them. So every time you go to buy like one share, 100 shares, or 1,000 shares, whatever, they're going to charge you a fee. Fidelity doesn't do that, right? There's no fee to buy or sell Grayscale Trusts through their platform. Now, Schwab, on the other hand, they do. I think it's like $5 or $6 per trade. I haven't done this yet. I didn't buy my shares that I have sitting on Schwab right now through Schwab. I bought them through TD Ameritrade, which is also fee-free, and I just transferred the shares over to Schwab. So I didn't actually pay any fees to buy them through Schwab. Now, when I do buy some through Schwab, then it'll change. I'll be charged a fee. Likewise, when I go to sell them, I assume I'm going to have to pay a fee there. And the fee isn't that big, but it's kind of annoying. It's like, why is this happening? I don't know. E-Trade, I really don't have insight on. I don't use it, so I don't know. So I know people use E-Trade on this platform following me to invest in Grayscale. Like, how does it work? Make a comment down below. Like, what have you found when you deposit money into E-Trade? How long does it take to clear? How do you like their features? All that kind of stuff, I think would be good for other people to kind of know. Some other things about Fidelity that I like: in addition to opening a standard brokerage account, you can open what's called a cash management account. This is an account where you can basically just move cash into, and you can write checks from that account. You can order checks actually from your main brokerage account as well, but the cash management account is basically just for cash, and it's got, you have the ability basically to, if you're paying state or federal taxes, and you go online to the forms and they ask for like the routing number and your checking account number, you just put in that information with your cash management account, and it should be deducted right from that account. I haven't done it yet, but when I start cashing out, I will, so I'll know for sure. I think it's going to work. I wouldn't see why it won't. I'm sure tens of thousands of people have done this already. But like I said, you can also order checks with each and every brokerage account that you have with Fidelity. Most people only have one. I've got a couple, but you can order checks through each one. And I assume it's kind of the same way. Like, I could make essentially electronic withdrawals and send it off to the IRS or the state right from the brokerage account if I knew the routing number and the checking account number associated with that brokerage account. But anyway, I like the cash management account. It is a separate account. It's kind of nice to just know that's a separate account. I don't know if it's going to make any difference in the long run. I don't know. You might not need it, but it is a nice benefit. One of the pros of Schwab is the fact that Well, they've got, if you want to make charitable donations with some or all of your profits, you can through a special account that you can set up with Schwab called charitable trust account or something like that. I forget the exact name, but essentially what it is, that charitable donation trust it's a 501c3. So when you transfer money or assets like stocks or trusts or whatever into it, it's a one-way operation. You can never withdraw the money. You get a tax deduction basically when you make the donation. And once you put money like cash or assets into there, well, then you can just direct a donation to be made to one or more charities of your choice. But you already get the tax deduction at the moment, basically, that you deposit, cash or assets. So that's kind of nice. With Schwab, Schwab also, they don't have a separate like cash management account, but they do allow you to order checks for the brokerage account. Well, if you just have one, or if you have multiple, you can get for each of them. And I would assume it's the same way. Like if you're paying the IRS, paying the state, you can just make give them the routing number and the checking account number for your Charles Schwab account that's associated with a brokerage account that you've got that you got those checks from, and you should be good to go. What else? I don't know if E-Trade actually has that. I would assume E-Trade has the ability to write checks and therefore the ability to do just, electronic withdrawals if you send payments off directly to the IRS right from your brokerage account, which is super nice. It was actually one of the things that was holding me back. Because I was like, damn, it was a couple months ago. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I have more crypto than I'm going to be able to sell, like more Grayscale than I'm going to be able to sell, because I can only like withdraw a certain amount per day. It's ridiculous. All these brokers, like Fidelity, you can transfer into, I think, up to $250,000 a day. So I think that's the limit. And if Schwab, you can deposit up to $500,000 per day. Maybe it's a little bit more, but I've done $500,000. But the goofy thing is, when you want to withdraw it, like do an ACH withdrawal, you can't do 250 or 500,000. You can only do $100,000 a day max, which I think is a scam. Like, it's a scam. But that's why, like, if you have checks through your Schwab or Fidelity account, you can actually, and you want to transfer a lot of money from your brokerage account to, say, your checking account, you just write yourself a check and deposit that check, and that allows you to bypass the $100,000 per day limitation that's there for ACH transfers. I'm assuming E-Trade is kind of similar. Might be different. Like I don't know about E-Trade. Some of the smaller brokers like M1 completely suck in my opinion with transferring money out. So for example, I don't think M1, I could be wrong. Like, I don't think M1 allows you to order checks. I could be completely wrong and be missing something. I don't think they do. And the max that you can withdraw from M1 when I was doing this is like in the past year, was $50,000 a day. Like that's the max. And it's like, that's a really small amount. If you've got like $1 million you want to move, it takes you 20 business days, it takes you a full month to move that amount of money. It's ridiculous. So that's why I don't like that. I don't know, what the limitations are for Robinhood. I don't know that you can write checks with Robinhood. So that's one of the downsides. But people like Robinhood, people like M1, nothing wrong with that. One thing I would say that I think is important is, as you start to have more money, you are investing more, do not put all your assets into one brokerage account. Okay, don't only use Fidelity, don't only use E-Trade, don't only use Schwab, don't only use M1, etc. Right? Like, you want to split up your assets. There's a saying in the prepper community it goes like this: 2 is 1 and 1 is none. What that means is, if you have 2 vehicles, 2 guns, 2 bank accounts, 2 brokerage accounts, and one of them malfunctions, gets destroyed, has a problem, goes offline, whatever, you still have one that you can access, one that you can use. So 2 becomes 1. If you only have 1 brokerage account, 1 gun, 1 car, 1 whatever, then if there's a problem with it, you have none. That's what the saying means: 2 is 1, 1 is none. So I would at least have 2 brokerage accounts that you guys use. And it's like, for the ones that support Grayscale, it's like, I would pick at least one of your brokerage accounts to be one of the OGs in the space. That's E-Trade, Fidelity, or Schwab, right? If you want to pair that up with like Robinhood or M1, yeah. But I would definitely recommend that at least one of your brokerage accounts is with the big boys, right? The big boys that are like legacy. I would definitely suggest that, and just split up your assets. So like, that's what I'm going to do. like, that's right now my Grayscale across 2 brokers. And once I cash out and diversify into things like index funds, dividend ETFs, all that kind of stuff, I'll move some assets even off to a 3rd broker. Probably use Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch they kind of suck because it's like they take a long time when you deposit money, with them to actually clear it so you can invest it. It's very similar to Schwab, I think. I only did it once and I was like, this is like ridiculous. But I'm just going to do what I'm going to do is like when I cash out of, for example, Grayscale and Fidelity, I'm going to buy some index funds like VGT, for example, and Fidelity. And then I'm just going to go over to Merrill Lynch and initiate an asset transfer and transfer some of that VGT over. So I'm not actually having to like deposit cash into Merrill Lynch and buy it there. I'm just buying it in the fastest way possible out of Fidelity and transferring the asset over. So that's kind of my plan with that. But then I'll kind of have 3 main brokers: Schwab, Fidelity, and Merrill. And Merrill, I'll just keep the boring shit like index funds, because they don't allow you to invest in Grayscale or even high yield dividend ETFs. It's really boring. It's like growth stocks and index funds, basically, and the low yield, super low yielders they can get into there. So not a whole lot that is exciting. But anyway, so to wrap this video up, it is Friday night. I'm just going to end this here. We're already at 11 minutes, so it's a long one. Hopefully I didn't talk anybody's ear off. I did, it's like I'm happy. My stomach's happy. I had some Mexican street tacos. I don't want to offend anybody by saying Mexican, but they were made, that's what it said on the menu. And they were made by a Mexican family, so I don't want to disrespect them by not saying that. So, but you never know in this world what you're going to get called out for. So just to wrap this up, if I were to pick one and only one, it would be Fidelity. It would be Fidelity because of, for a couple of things: no fees on buying Grayscale. 2 is the speed at which your deposits become available to allow you to invest, right? You don't have as long of a waiting period as you do at Schwab. And they have the cash management account, which I think is pretty nice. You can get checks and check cards, You can get checks and check cards at Schwab too, but Schwab takes longer for your deposits to become available, and they charge you a fee for buying and selling Grayscale, which is irritating. But it's not going to matter that much probably if you're making a ton of money. It's probably not going to matter all that much, but still, it's like, if you can get it without paying a fee, why not? Why not? Like, you don't owe Schwab an allegiance. I only use Schwab because it was an easy choice coming from TD Ameritrade, and I like the fact that they have the charitable donation trust, where I can make donations right through there. So anything that I sell out of my Schwab account, I'm basically going to put into high yield dividend ETFs that spin off cash that I'm just going to send right over to the charitable trust so I can make a bunch of donations, because that was a really big thing that I wanted to do after I cashed out of this Grayscale cycle. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But Fidelity is my number 1 choice. Number 2 choice might be E-Trade, but I don't have any experience with E-Trade. So like I said, if you guys do use E-Trade, please leave a comment. Like, how do you like it? How long does it take money to clear? Do they charge a fee when you buy or sell Grayscale? That kind of stuff. So, all right, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I don't know that I'm going to make any videos this weekend. Who knows? I might. But if not, I will see you guys next week. You guys take care.